Hi, welcome to Tenor Banjo from Scratch, Lesson 4. In the last lesson, we did quite a lot of work looking at the 3 different chord forms for a major chord. And we did Form 1, Form 3 and Form 5 of our C major chord. And at the end as well, we also looked at moving it up to D and doing the same 3 forms, but 2 frets higher to be playing 3 different forms of a D chord. This time we're going to do exactly the same thing, but we're going to make them minor. So then we'll have loads and loads of options for playing minor chords. So let's dive right in. Now it was a little bit easier last time because we already had our C chord down there. So first of all, let's turn that C chord into a minor chord. What's a minor chord? Well, if you remember, our major chord was the 1st, 3rd and 5th steps of the major scale. To make a minor chord, we take those same 3 notes, but we lower the 3rd step by 1 fret. So here's our major scale. Here's the 1st and the 3rd and the 5th. Da, da, da. That's our major chord notes. If we lower this one, the 3rd, by 1 fret to that note, we get this. Sounds a lot more miserable already, doesn't it? If I rearrange those notes so that I can strum them on 4 strings, we get this. A very sad sounding minor chord. So all I've done from my C to my C minor is lowered the 3rd of the chord. And here we go. There's the 3rd note of the scale, right there. I'm going to lower it. Now rather than stretch, I'm going to replace my 2nd finger with my 3rd finger. So there was my C, there's my C minor. That's the only difference. So just practice playing a C and getting used to moving it to a C minor. Now you've probably guessed that our other 2 forms are going to do the same thing. We're going to find that one note, the 3rd of the chord, and lower it by 1 fret, and it will make it minor. And apart from that, those other forms will be exactly the same. So this is form 1 of C minor because it has the C, the 1st note of the scale, on the top. Now let's have a look at the next form. Play your form 3 C major chord, this one. Now, we know that the note we need to change, the 3rd, is right there on the top because we're in form 3. That note is the top note. There's one little problem with this chord form though. That note there is also the one on the bottom. It's that duplicated note that we have to do because we have 3 notes in a minor chord, 3 notes in a major chord. We have to duplicate one of them. And sometimes it's going to be the one that we want to change. So we're going to have to lower this note and we're going to have to lower that one. So that's going to take a little bit of rejigging of our fingers. So my little finger's going to go down to the 6th fret. My index finger's going to go down to the 3rd fret. But I'm going to leave these 2 in the middle, but not with my 2nd finger. That's too much of a stretch. So I'll swap that for my 3rd finger. So now it looks like that. My 3rd finger is holding down 2 strings. So let's hear it. And there was our major one. C major, C minor. Now let's look at form 5. Form 5 up here, our major chord was this one. 7th fret, 9th fret, and then the little finger holding down the 10th fret on the highest 2 strings. So in this one, we only have to move 1 note, because in this one, it's the note on the top that's doubled. And we know we're in form 5, so that note on the top is the 5th of the chord. So don't worry about that, we only have to move 1. This time, the note we're going to move is on the 3rd string, and it's currently being played by our ring finger. And there's our C minor there. C major, C minor. Okay, now let's see if we can play those 3 forms, one to the other, nice and slowly. Form 1 Form 3, and Form 5. Practice them just like you did the major ones so you can move up and down, but if you just have to practice a couple of forms and then a couple more and before you link all three together, that's great. The same thing as we did last time will also work, which means that we can move those forms up the neck. And again, backwards and forwards. Now this is a lot of stuff to learn, so take it in little bite-sized pieces. What we're going to do next time is we're going to look at putting some of these different forms together in musical ways so that we can play some simple song patterns. Keep practicing and I'll see you again soon. Bye.